Have you ever called a tweet up and arrived at the venue and were the only one that showed up? Or have you ever sent out a message to your community asking them to forward something along but were dissatisfied with the results? Social media has made it infinitely easier to connect, but it's also easier to disengage. Social media companies have thrived on oh my God, I did it too. Social media is great. And there's an Edelman study right here that says that trust is eroding in social media. And that's a problem. Do you know why that's a problem? That's great. That's real great. This is fantastic. And this is streamed too. So we've got this ability to connect, this infinite connectivity. I was wondering why more people aren't utilizing this right. And I think the problem is that we're forgetting about the emotional investment that's needed. Now, emotional investment is the currency of the online space. It's really how people are paying attention online. To give you an example, if somebody's reading your blog, they're actually not doing something else. So let me demonstrate. This is a picture of my dog, Walker. He's a 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel. Now, I know that 39% of you in this room have now started paying attention more to what I'm saying because you also are dog owners. There's actually 2 or 3 of you in this room that own Cocker Spaniels and are starting to invest emotionally in what I have to say. I guarantee that if I called a tweet up of all the people in the room, those 2 or 3 people who have Cocker Spaniels are probably going to show up, and you guys won't. So what does this have to do with social media? Well, in the beginning, social media was what was binding us together. It was a bunch of people on social media talking about social media because we're all passionate about social media. Unfortunately, what's happened is the internet has become too cluttered. There's too many interesting things going on in the online space, most of which is being created by the people in this room. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So the question remains, we know that emotional investment is sort of a problem. So what I'm going to try to do in the next couple of slides is give you my top ways to increase the amount of emotional investment in your communities so that you can have more engaging people in those communities. First and foremost, we need to be passionate. People can spot a phony from a mile away, and if you try to form a community around something that you're not 100% nutso-butso, on board, passionate about, you're doomed to fail. Build your foundation on that passion. The second thing is be reachable. Now, there's a huge difference between being accessible and being reachable. An example of being reachable is if somebody reaches out to you, you have to respond to them, even if it's just to acknowledge that they've gotten the message. Now, also, what's going to happen is you're going to start building this community, and you're going to have people that come out of the woodwork that are just as passionate as you. Give them a mouthpiece. Give them a job. Have them moderate something on the forum. Giving these people this voice will really help build that engagement. But also, it's important to swing the ban hammer. As soon as somebody starts polluting your online community, it's important to swiftly ban those people and get them out. And if there's one thing that I'd like you to take away from this presentation, it's this. 90% of the people that go to your online space will never participate. We actually have a name for them. They're called lurkers. Now, what I found is the reason that lurkers don't participate is because they don't feel like they have anything to add to the conversation. They can't out-passion the passionate. Now, it's your job as a community manager to allow them to do that by serving up easy-to-answer questions and getting them to engage, because the more they do, the more emotion they're going to be pouring into this. Now, you've also got to have an opinion, but base it on facts. Nobody wants a blowhard, Bill O'Reilly. Nobody wants regurgitated nonsense, newspaper industry. So don't be afraid to take a stand, and don't be afraid of the ramifications for having an opinion. Finally, and this is most important, pull back the curtain. You're a human being, right? So why are you sweating that you had a typo in a blog post or something's wrong? Your community's going to forgive, and they're going to forget. And if they don't, just ban their ass. Now you're going to come to a point where your community grows to be a certain size. Now, you need to determine where that is and determine whether you need to get moderators in or if you need to cap it at a certain membership. And finally, if there is one thing that we can remember about this, it's your community, as they invest emotionally, are going to become more active. And what that's going to do is going to increase the good and minimize the meh. Thank you very much.